DCM.WORKS still fondly remembering the Nintendo 64.
Be advised, this podcast features grown-ups using grown-up words.
Welcome to Not Another Smallville. My name is Steph, and I've never seen Smallville before.
Nailed it. And my name is David, and I've seen the whole show twice.
And this is Season 1, Episode 2.
Boys and girls, your attention, please. Presenting a new exciting radio program featuring the thrilling adventures of an amazing and incredible personality.
So, bugs. Good grief.
It was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
So we're not good with bugs.
No, I was squirming the whole time, and
yeah.
That's the problem. Like the whole second episode has pretty much put me off because it's
a lot of bugs. Yeah. I think the good news is that they kind of will only do like one trope once.
Yeah.
Like we'll never get another electric guy, and I don't think we'll ever get another bug guy.
Never get another bug guy.
So we've gotten out of the way early.
Yeah.
But God, there was a lot of disgusting stuff that happened.
Yeah. So
there was a lot of just you sitting there going,
ugh.
and like, yeah.
But like even like the guy before he was a bug guy was
he was
disgusting.
a creepy guy.
He like had acne everywhere. What was his name? Greg.
Yeah. Greg. See,
just...
but the truth is that I was saying this when we were watching it. Even after he got bugged, there are just guys that are like that, who are just, like, creepy.
Yeah.
And, like, the fact that Lana wouldn't help him with his book report, which he was clearly just using to, like, get to
her, and he's like, oh, are you blowing me off for your boyfriend? And it's like, well, that's a pretty good reason to blow some random guy off.
She also doesn't owe you anything.
No,
like,
exactly.
Very, like, and he had, like, a lot of rapey vibes through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And, like,
well,
just
that's
a weird...
the thing. Like, he literally said, I can take whatever I want or have whatever I want. And it's like, dude... Like, that's in his, like, mating phase.
Yeah, which is, like, I mean, creepy.
Pretty
Very
much
creepy.
just chooses a lady to mate with.
Yeah. Although, I suppose at this point, when you think about it, he knows about as much about Lana as Clark does.
Yeah.
And about as much as we do as well. We don't really know anything about
She's still... Most of the characters are still pretty unexplored at this point.
Yeah, I think we don't really know Clark that well.
I think the most that we know about in terms of, like, the character of the character... is Lex Luthor.
Yeah, actually, we've got a lot of like his sort of the way that he approaches problems.
His backstory and like
a little bit of a weird smirk this episode. We got that weird.
That was so funny.
It was a very like it was when they're in the barn.
Yeah.
And he's talking to Lana because he's trying to help Clark.
Yeah. And then she's talking about the skinny dipping.
Yeah.
And
she does the breaststroke joke.
Yeah, and then he's sort of like. Oh, she says something like... Oh, no, he says something like, oh,
like,
you're all grown up now. And she's like, yeah, I guess I am. And he just, like, it just cuts to his face.
Cuts back to me. He's like...
And, like, just a smile. It was
it was a creepy
creepiest
smile.
thing I've ever seen.
It wasn't like, that's so nice that I remember. No, it was just creepy.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Very creepy.
But so the age difference between them was about... I guess we're assuming about 6 years? Because she was 10.
Yeah.
But he was in prep school when the meteors struck. And she was, like, 3 or 4.
She would have been 4, I think, because what age are they supposed to be?
I think they're in this is either their final year of high school or it's the year before their final year.
So 16-ish, 17. And so, like...
Dial it back 6...
So the dad says that he's kept the thing in his basement for 12 years.
Yeah.
And so if Clark was 4 when they found him, that'd make him 16.
Yeah, so that means that...
He didn't look much older than 4, that's the thing, though.
Yeah, that's true.
But Lex Luthor was very clearly older.
So then Lex would be about 22.
Yeah.
That all kind of works, I think.
It's a little bit gross, though, because he's like...
It's a little creepy.
I don't like, have anything wrong with your taste in women.
Which, like, it's not what he said, it's how he said it.
Yeah.
He was like, there's nothing wrong with your taste. Oh, yeah. I'll give me some of that Lana. It's weird.
That.
He's the right kind of creepy, but kind of, you can tell that he's trying to do, like, be a good friend, sort of.
But the thing is that, like, I know that he is, like, a bad guy.
Yeah, he's like
in the grand scheme
he's like
of
a
things.
Superman villain.
But I actually like him at the moment.
He's quite likable, yeah.
It's very...
In a weird way.
Yeah, and it's, like, difficult to watch it being like, I know that I'm going to hate you later.
Yeah.
But you're so nice now, and you're, like, genuinely trying to help Clark and everything, and...
It should be interesting to see how they get from that to, like, the villain that we know, you know? So that... I think that's one of the strongest parts of the show is Lex and his sort of... The way that he changes and the way his relationship with Clark changes. You know?
I feel like part of it will come from he sort of looks more into kryptonite and everything, and
kind of gets involved with that world a bit more.
And then sort of maybe a bit of jealousy arises because he did say like, flying was the most exhilarating experience. Like, I did for 2 minutes and it was so exhilarating. Blah,
that was
blah,
when he
blah.
was dead or whatever, so maybe he's going to try and go after that more.
Like,
maybe
try...
get some powers.
Because I suppose, like Superman, well, Clark
has
what he wants. I don't know.
I mean, even... Because at this point, he doesn't know that Clark has powers, right?
Yeah, no, he
just kind of maybe... Because he thinks that he hit Clark.
At the moment, I honestly think that he has no clue what's going on yet. He just noticed that Clark got sick, and that's why he made that face when he opened up the little box with the necklace in it. I don't think he actually has any inkling. No, I don't think he has at all.
Which makes sense, you know, because there's no reason for him to be suspicious yet. I think probably... Because if I was Lex, I'd be sort of thinking, well... I think it's a little suspicious that Clark saved 2 people in literally 2. It's like 3 days, right? That was something. It kept taking us by surprise. It was
within like 2 days or 3.
Yeah. It was a direct this episode starts with the ending of the previous one.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
Which is actually cool.
Yeah, I don't know that it's always going to be like that. But...
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if it is, because with a lot of TV shows, it's like between episodes, like months may pass and they don't address it.
Yeah, you've got like your Supernatural or whatever. Will sometimes go like a year between 2 episodes. Yeah, and you're like, well, how old are they now? How much time has passed? What's going on with that? But I think the problem is if they do episode to episode, like directly follow on, it's going to be a new kryptonite villain every day.
Yeah.
Maybe that could get really weird, so I think they might have to drop that. Or that being said, they may not be a kryptonite villain every week. We don't know. I know there's some episodes where it's not about a villain, like there'll be kryptonite and it will change another character, but they won't be like a villain and it'll just be like, oh, we're going to help this person or whatever it is.
Actually, and I did find it really interesting that they made it a follow-on from the last episode, because generally you wouldn't follow on straight after a pilot.
Yeah, you would sort of...
Because you wouldn't assume that people would have watched it.
Yes, whereas with
if
this...
that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I know they had the, previously on Smallville.
No, but I do know what you mean.
It just seemed really weird to start with her in her prom dress and putting her tiara away.
Yeah, very unusual to do that. Particularly, if you think about, like, pilots of shows that they make the pilot, and the show gets greenlit, they get the funding, and then they make the second episode. They'll kind of they'll retread some ground, because often the pilot isn't as good as it could be, or they can't afford as many reshoots on the pilot as they'd like. But with this, they just went. They were they were just really confident with what they were doing.
Yeah.
Which is good. Although, I think some time has passed between this, in real life, I mean, when they were filming it, between the first episode and this one, because Tom Welling's hair is much longer.
Yeah.
It looks much more boyish.
Well, they probably would have had to have sort of seen how it went.
Yeah, like at least a few months.
Also, between the first and second episode, there's been no improvement in like the CGI or anything.
No, if anything,
it's gotten worse.
There's a scene, so they're in the barn and the bug guy turns up.
Yeah, and anyway.
And Papa Kent is thrown off the awning or whatever, the upper level. And so Clark runs, super speeds over, and jumps down to catch him.
And obviously, because he's like super speed, everything around him's going slow, so he has a lot of time
to think
about what he's doing. And anyway, in the scene where you can see Papa Kent falling, all of a sudden there's just like, they just superimpose like a still image of Clark coming over him.
He's not moving. He's just a still frame, like a PNG or whatever.
Of Clark, like coming over and preventing Papa Kent
sort of
from like...
on the blades.
Yeah.
He lies on the blades and his dad lands on him.
Yeah.
Though that being said, Clark is like Man of Steel. Wouldn't his dad be hurt by that? Landing on Clark would hurt, right?
Yeah.
Though I guess maybe that's a rule that doesn't apply to Superman, because I'm guessing he's going to do a lot of catching in the show. Like a lot of someone's fallen off a building.
He's hard when he needs to be.
Yes. But when the show demands that he catches someone, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because really what would happen is, if you think about like half of the time...
arms of steel, chest of just normal guy.
Yeah. Normal guy, but it doesn't hurt him, maybe. But then you look at Tom Welling's abs, and it's not normal guy chest.
No, not at all.
Even if he was just a man, it would hurt more than a normal person, because he's got those abs of steel. So, what's that about, Smallville? How are you gonna deal with that? Because I'm guessing he's gonna catch a lot of people. That's like a big Superman thing. It's like, oh, someone falls.
Have to catch.
Super speed, catch him. We'll catch him in the air, but he can't fly or whatever. But so we learned a little bit more about Clark's relationship to kryptonite this episode.
Yes.
So Lana's green K necklace, he sort of learns that it's poisoning him, so he's going to be aware of that. What was interesting, actually, is that the bug guy remembered that the warehouse at the end, Clark was always sick around it when they were kids.
Yeah.
That was an interesting way to sort of deal with that relationship and have another character not really realizing, because he knows that Clark has powers at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And he sort of has made the connection himself that this is going to be, it's going to hurt or make Clark sick or something.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, he's a bug man with bug instincts. Is he going to be that smart to be like, I got to take out the superpowered guy and he was sick around here when we were kids?
Mm.
Like, I don't know. That, to me, that's an odd one.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I got to eat my mother and spin webs. And suddenly he's like, time to do some detective work and remember this thing from my childhood?
Also, that just reminds me, like, I think the next episode will come and there'll literally be no repercussions of the fact that, this guy was squashed and
killed,
disintegrated into, like, all these bugs, so effectively has disappeared, but so has his mother.
Yep.
And that there's just going to be this rotting woman in this really humid house.
Yeah, did they tell anyone?
The thing, okay, so basically what happens is when they're investigating, like, the bug guy to see if he actually is a bug guy, they go into his home when he's not there, and they go up to his room, and they go to his shower, and there's dead skin everywhere because he's been molting. And then they go to his room, and there's just cobwebs everywhere. And then Clark walks over to, like, the corner of the room and, like, starts to pick away at one of the webs, opens it, and there's, like, decayed head falls out, and immediately he goes, Lana!
And then smash cut to the next scene.
And he just runs away!
With no addressing the fact that he's just, is Chloe gonna tell something? Is she gonna write a paper on it? Like, what's the...
And the thing is that, like, him and Greg were presumably friends
at
as
some
kids.
Stage.
So there must be some sort of, like, shock or dismay that, oh my god.
It's a dead mother that I used to know.
Despite how much of a bitch apparently she was, and...
Yeah, short leash or whatever.
Yeah,
Clark's
but,
like, nah, girl,
Lana.
the girl that I am infatuated with that I don't really know at all, better go save
that
her.
was the funniest part of the show, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty... But so I guess it might get addressed next episode, maybe.
It could be. We'll have to see.
I don't think it will be,
somehow,
but there's a chance.
Because the electric guy was completely forgotten about.
Yeah.
I suppose Clark didn't have many people to talk about it to.
Well, he couldn't really tell anyone because no one knows about his powers
No one knows,
yet.
and no one knew about the electric guy, what he was going to do, essentially.
Yeah, there's just 3
All
unsolved
they knew
murders.
Is that,
or whatever. That's interesting, actually.
Thing is, though, those unsolved murders haven't been addressed either, so I get the feeling that dead mum and disappeared
will just vanish.
Yeah.
It could be interesting if Chloe... I'm kicking a music stand. If Chloe... If she... Because she's reporting on this stuff. But is she reporting on it? Or because she runs the school paper. Is she reporting on the weird shit, or is she just keeping a record of it? We don't really know yet.
I think she's just keeping a record of it because, remember, Clark had no clue that she had all that stuff.
Right,
yeah,
that's right. So maybe she keeps that to herself. But then the police are going to go there at some point and be like, what the fuck? What happened here? Why is the house made of spider webs?
And why
is there a dead woman in it and the skin in the shower? Like, none of that. And isn't...
It was disgusting.
Is it a crime to not report the body?
I think so.
I don't know. I think so. About the law. That feels like it might be.
I don't know. Like, maybe
it's certainly
being
a dick
like
move.
Sort of an accessory or whatever because you've seen and
you didn't. Yeah.
You've known that something had happened, but you didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything about it.
But I suppose at the same time, like, how do they explain? Yeah, this her son killed her, essentially.
Yeah, that's a weird conversation.
Saving her to eat her.
He was going to eat her.
But then he got squashed.
By a
scoop.
A scoop? Why was pulling the chain dropping the scoop, and why did Greg do that at all?
Because he's a dumb bug. Bugs don't have brains.
But he had a brain enough to remember and work out the clock was weak in the quarry. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're full of holes, Smallville. You're full of holes in episode 2.
That is true, actually.
Yeah, what's that about? Maybe it's the case. Maybe it's like he can still think, but he doesn't have like any self-control.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Because that would make more sense.
That's exactly what Clark said when he met him up in the treehouse when they were kids. From when they were kids, because he was like, no, you're just giving into your instincts. And he's like, no, I can do whatever I want.
Do whatever I want.
I can take whatever I want. But in reality, he was just giving into his instincts.
Yeah, that's true.
And so he's just a bit of a doofus. Like, he might still remember stuff, but
he can't really, like, think things through. And also, what was his plan with Lana? Why wasn't he already...
Why was she stuck underneath some webs asleep and, like, magically woken up when the webs came off her face?
I don't know anything about bugs or science or anything that's useful, but I'm guessing, just as a guess, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think bugs put their partners to sleep and then put a little webbing over them before they do
Before they do
love.
the do.
Bug
love.
Yeah, bug sex.
But then
whatever.
also, like, makes me wonder, like, what would happen after that.
Yeah, this bug... Also, what gear is he working with? Is he still... Man?
Is he still man,
bug?
or like is he gonna have bug babies? Is she gonna carry the eggs on her back?
Whoa, how does that work? What was his plan? He had not thought this through. Was he gonna? Oh, maybe he had to make her into a bug lady.
Maybe.
So he's gonna get her bitten. Maybe if he bit her like a vampire thing.
Oh, that's disgusting.
That is terrible. It's so disgusting to think
just
about.
talking about anything bug related.
You're sitting here like closing in on yourself.
I'm actually squirming.
It's fine. This is the last bug episode. I hope.
I'm so happy.
Like, yeah.
It better be.
Let's talk about the stuff that wasn't bug related. So
we figured out that lead sort of
lead is a shield from
kryptonite.
Which will become relevant later on when Clark gets his X-ray vision. I think, maybe, not sure. But so lead definitely interferes with that, right? Because kryptonite's radioactive to Clark. I think it might be radioactive to everyone else. Because I know that in a lot of the comics, Lex Luthor gets cancer because he spends too much time around kryptonite. So I think it is radioactive. So we learn that lead blocks that, but also lead is poison, so it's not really a great solution.
Also, if kryptonite's radioactive, that's cool. Lana's wearing it around her neck all the time. Oh yeah, so Lana gets her necklace back.
Yeah, but she doesn't seem weird at all about where it's come from.
And she gets it at the end of the episode. It's hanging on her door handle.
Yeah.
She looks wistfully into the distance and smiles.
She fulfilled her contractual obligation for that week.
Yes.
Every episode, you must wistfully smile.
And be the damsel in distress.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks running, isn't it? That's going to keep happening.
Well, the first week wasn't so much she was in distress, but Clark's only obligation was to save her, essentially. I don't think he was particularly worried about everyone else. Like, when he referred to his friends and the electric guy.
Well, I guess Chloe was in there. Chloe and Pete were in there.
Yeah, but, like, the whole time the camera was looking at Lana.
Look, it's all about Lana, but give it Clark some benefit of the doubt that he likes Chloe and Pete.
Also, we know that Chloe is pretty much in love with Clark.
Smitten as a kitten.
Oh, you're not outgoing me as a friend, are you?
And she gives him like a real... she's cute as hell. I really like Chloe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
cute.
I have one of those... I've got the Chloe crush, because she's very cute, but she's so like we got the first she's in love with him moment.
Yeah.
And he's clearly completely oblivious with his boyish hair, because if they cut it short, he'd look 35.
Yeah.
But aside from the fact that Tom Welling looked less middle-aged in this one, we learn that she's in love with him. We learn that Lana's got her necklace back, so it's going to be a problem for Clark in the upcoming episodes, because he.
But also good, because at least Lex Luthor doesn't have it. Not that Lex Luthor's a problem.
He wasn't plotting with it, but he certainly knew something was up.
He knew something was weird.
We don't see.
We don't know.
It could have just been that he was like, this is
To
Lana's...
be honest, though, hasn't there been like 2 instances now though where he's seen
Clark get weird around Green K? Yeah. Gee, I don't know.
But he might not have even made the connections.
Maybe not yet. Maybe that's sort of...
know.
That could be his thing for the season, is trying to work out that situation. Although the question is, if he does work it out, that's a really hard thing to try and prove.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're a superpowered Clark. And also, is he going to start collecting kryptonite now? Because he seems to collect other shit.
It seems like it's everywhere around the town.
Yeah. Is no one picking up this media? And if Smallville is advertising itself as the meteorite capital of the world, surely collectors are going to come in and be interested in grabbing them.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Some of those rocks. Like, what's that relationship with Smallville and the rocks like? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out.
Maybe, hopefully.
But, so we learn that Lex Luthor is definitely involving himself with Clark more and more. We got the direct... Papa Kent shook Lex's hand. So there's definitely still some tension there. Lex was creeping on Lana a little bit. Super
little bit. Not as much as Greg, though.
Yeah. He was also quite a contradictory character, Lex is, because he was skinny dipping because he's with this girl, but then also he's pretending that he's been an outcast his whole life. So there's maybe some self sort of victimization there on Lex's part. So maybe next, we'll get a little bit more of that, I hope. I kind of want to see more of Pete, because I haven't really seen much of Pete.
No, I was thinking that actually. It was a lot of Chloe this episode, and like Pete had one line when they were in Thingo's house.
Maybe we'll get sort of the start of...
Because I feel like why bother having these friends as characters if you're not going to flesh them out a little bit?
I think they're going to start one at a time. So they're going to be like Chloe and then Pete. But
it's like at this point you can't even see how they're friends. They never hang out. They just...
You can see how maybe Pete and Chloe... Well, but Pete doesn't work for the paper.
Yeah.
So why are they... Like, it just doesn't... And Clark doesn't work for the paper. Is it just that they've been buddies? Although, that being said, Pete and Clark hung out with Greg as kids.
Yeah.
So that's their connection.
Yeah.
But we know nothing about why Chloe and Clark are friends. Is it just because Pete and Chloe are friends? And why are Pete and Chloe friends? They have nothing in common. Except for the fact that he's a nerd and she's like the cool punk chick.
Yeah.
Which isn't a connection. Those aren't related things at all.
Yeah, no, there's nothing to really connect them at all.
So maybe we'll get more of that?
Hopefully.
I hope so. Because I'm interested in what they do with Pete, because I don't remember him at all.
Yeah.
And honestly, more Chloe is good.
I want to see what happens with his hairline throughout the series.
Yeah. Have we talked about how
I don't think we have.
He's
got a really odd shaped hairline.
And weird head, too. So Pete has a shaved head. Mm-hmm. And the front of it is like lines, sort of.
It's just like weird... he has a really narrow, like, area on his forehead.
That sort of comes to like
his forehead is just very small and because his hairline's very weird.
But then the head gets bigger after that. So it's just this weird, like, shaped potato-y thing. Everyone... Yeah, he's a weird potato head. I'll be honest. We'll say it.
But we love him.
We don't... Yeah,
we're indifferent.
Yeah. We've seen him on screen at least 3 times, so we know he's a player. We just don't know how big of a player.
Yes.
But I'm definitely getting the sense that Chloe is sort of going to start becoming a bigger player.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Same with Lex. We haven't really seen Lionel again. He seems to be out of it for now. Lex's dad.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Lana's aunt at all, which is weird.
Yeah, I know, actually.
It's a little odd. We don't really know what she does for a living,
All of a sudden, she just disappears.
And
Lana just appears to be at home alone all the time. We don't know.
Because we know that she worked in the flower shop years ago. Mm-hmm. But we don't really know if she still works in Metropolis or what the connection... We don't even know if that was in Metropolis, because
that was in Smallville.
That was in Smallville town.
Yeah.
So maybe she still works there.
Yeah.
Then what kind of hours is she doing? And why is this 16-year-old... Oh, I guess it's Kansas. You probably be unsupervised at home at 16. Mm-hmm. There's not really much going on.
No.
And the boyfriend's there all the time because the aunt isn't.
Yeah.
So clearly there's like a...
Also, I still can't figure out whether or not the boyfriend's name is Whitney or if his last name's Whitney.
Yeah, we haven't really got a first name.
Yeah.
He has Whitney on his jacket.
Yeah, but like even the girlfriend refers to him as Whitney. And that's the thing, like, would you refer to your girlfriend as her last name? I wouldn't refer to my boyfriend as his last name.
Wouldn't be like, it's Lang. Like, Clark's are gonna start calling Lana Lang or something.
No, that's weird.
Although, actually, Lois Lane in the comics calls Clark Kent a lot.
Yeah.
So, I get it, but not every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because you do that in, like, if you're doing, like, a little jokey bit, you might be, like, calling Chloe, you'd be like, oh, it's Sullivan or whatever. You wouldn't. Yeah. But you wouldn't only call her Sullivan.
Yeah.
If you were dating her.
Yeah. That's kind of like something that you do with your
your buds. Your best buds or whatever. Not
Sully.
Not your handsome captain of the football team boyfriend. No. Who clearly has a first name.
Who isn't even that handsome.
Who's not as handsome as Tom Welling. Though I guess he's not 45, so it's hard to be that handsome. Mm-hmm. But I guess, so moving forward, I think we're going to get the Whitney-Lana breakup toward the end of the season, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's either going to be an ongoing player for this season, because he's in all the opening credits, or he's going to stay in the show, but they're going to break up, and there'll be some other
He'll join the gang.
Maybe.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so, because he's not really much of a character.
I feel like at this point, there's no reason for them to break up, just in the same way that there's no real reason for them to be together, other than the fact that they're both popular at high school.
I think it's also that, but that's a lot of that's kind of representative of a lot of high school relationships, where it's like they seem to be together because they see each other every day. It's kind of maybe the same reason that Chloe and Clark and Pete are friends, is because they see each other every day.
Yeah.
You know. So
but then again, I think you're thinking too much into this
into
this particular TV show.
Into what is clearly episode 2 of a show which they have not thought through how they're going to get into. No, they definitely haven't. A 20 episode season.
I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I don't think they're that clever.
No, clearly they just have no idea what they're doing, and that's how they've started off.
Maybe they'll try and play it off that way later.
Definitely.
Like when
they'll totally try and play it
off or something.
Yeah, ittle be like a cool, this is what we planned the whole time. Yeah. I don't know if they have college in
They probably don't. When you're a superhero, you don't need to work, do you?
Clark has a job. He's a journalist in the comics.
Yeah, but like that's just as his like
disguise.
alias, yeah.
Yeah, well, the Justice League of America have like a government salary, so they get paid. So, not that Batman needs it; he's a rich guy. But yeah, he would get paid through that and his journalist job. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see. So I'm keen to see what happens with Whitney, if he stays as a player or not.
Yeah,
and then hopefully Hopefully Lana becomes a character at some point. That's my...
Yeah,
I would like that
rather
next
than
episode.
just a love interest.
Although it is early 2000s, so she could just stay like that for the entirety of the show.
And I know something will die. She dies.
She dies. Someone dies.
Someone else comes on and wacky
New
do.
player.
Yeah.
Woo! You go. That's also another show.
Maybe not this season.
Not this season. Maybe. Well, I don't know how many seasons of Lana we'll get. Probably too many.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be good. So we will look forward to more characters, not just pretty people.
Hopefully.
And Whitney.
Yeah, and Whitney.
And Whitney. So see you guys next week for episode 3.
Yes.
Yes, I'm excited.
So am I. Thanks for listening. If you want to support the show, just head to patreon.com/DCM.WORKS.